This is what you call football, people. This is what you call the beautiful game, because wow, what a game we just witnessed today. Two European giants just going at it with each other, where they went back and forth, and we already expected a game like this to happen because of the quality of players that they have, the managers they have, the style of play that they play. We expected a dogfight, but the way it ended was honestly beautiful, but at the same time shocking. A back and forth match where France had their opportunities, didn't take them. Unai Simon steps up. Spain take their opportunities, go up 2-0 into the second half, and that second half was just a mauling, a destruction, an obliteration from Spain, where they were just completely dominating France, scoring 3, 4, 5, and then it looked like they were out of it. France were out of it, and Spain just got the win in the bag, through to the finals easily, in an easy manner. But then CHERKI comes on and just orchestrates the comeback for France. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. 5 was just too much for them, and Spain are through to the Nations League final. But what a game. I already expressed that the Nations League isn't the biggest competition. It's not the level of the Euros or the World Cup. Like, if you ask these players, do you want to be Nations League champions? They're going to be like, I don't really care. I just want to compete and show our level, right? The main thing about this competition is that we're seeing great teams go at it with each other. And the purpose is to show competitiveness and show who is the best in Europe currently. Spain are the current European champions, while France are World Cup champions as of 8 years ago. Obviously, it's been a long time, but still, they still have that reputation, that prestige. So Spain definitely want to go into this match saying, hey, you might have won the World Cup as recent, but we're European champions. We're bigger than you, we're better than you, and we're going to show it. And they definitely did show it, but France showed a lot of resilience in this game. But wow, what a game we just witnessed. A lot of quality, a lot of back and forth, and definitely some questions to be asked for both France and Spain. Looking at the lineup that France put up, it was interesting, but definitely confusing at the same time. Lenglet in 2025 makes absolutely no sense to me. Besides that, the rest of the defense, I would say, is pretty solid. I'm not sure if Saliba's injured or something, but I don't even know if he got called up, but he wasn't in the squad. I didn't see him at all. Kalalulu as a right back, I didn't really get it either. I know that he's played right back before, but I would have put someone who's actually a right back like Gusto, but who knows? Nico Williams probably still would have cooked him. When we look at that midfield, Kone, Rabiot, and Olise playing the 10, basically playing where Griezmann used to play. Griezmann obviously retired, so no more Griezmann for the Champs, who he's relied on heavily a lot throughout the years that he's been manager for France, and Griezmann for sure has showed high level under the Champs, but now he's going to have to replace him. And Olise, I don't think did the job today. I don't think he really impressed playing that 10 role. He had some moments, but I don't think it's the same level of player that Griezmann was, and Griezmann could be for this France team, So I don't think Olise is going to be that guy, and definitely need to change something up there. And I think the obvious answer is going to be CHERKI for the future. When we look at the up top, Doué, Dembélé, and Mbappe. Listen, great players. Dembélé on the right side, okay, fair enough. But Mbappe as a striker, I just don't get it. We all know that Mbappe needs to be involved. We need to see Mbappe get involved in every aspect of the game. Every time, we need to get the ball to Mbappe to get the best out of him, especially when we know that his best position is on the left. I don't understand why they're still trying this, experiment of playing him as a striker. I know that he's been playing striker for a long time now for France and for Real Madrid, but the best that we've seen on Mbappe for France has been playing on the left. So why not playing him on the left? You have two strikers on the bench like Kolo Muani or Thuram. Play them. They're the natural strikers. Like, they don't need to be involved in every minute of the game. But when you get every minute of the game involved from Mbappe, you get the best Mbappe. So I don't understand why he's still playing striker. He got involved in moments, but just not enough for where he could have been a difference maker for France today. Doué, listen, I love Doué. He's an incredible footballer. I think it's either for the 10, it's either between him and CHERKI. Yeah, on the left side, he definitely caused some threats. I don't think he had a bad game, but I would rather see Mbappe play on the left and, play Doué through the middle or CHERKI through the middle, whichever Deschamps decide. But this is going to test the game management and the man manager of Deschamps. If you have a great set of players, you have a great group of players that you need to know how to control. You need to know how to manage the egos and play the right players in the right positions where, it's going to be a tough job because you have a lot of quality, but it has to be done. Another thing I wasn't sure about was why Chouameni didn't start this game, because I thought the main problem with France today was their midfield. Like, they got completely outclassed in the midfield. I didn't think Rabiot or Kone put up a great performance. So I'm not sure why Chouameni's not starting, or I don't know if he's hurt or whatever, but he should have definitely played in this match. All right, if you want to play Rabiot, because Camavinga's out injured. If Camavinga was fit, then it should definitely be a midfield of Doué, Camavinga, or Chouameni, or Chouameni, Camavinga, or CHERKI, whichever you like. But Yeah, okay. If you want to play Rabia, go ahead. But Kone just didn't impress at all for me. When we look at Spain's lineup, I think definitely went for with some rotations for sure. But overall, I didn't see much problem with Spain's lineup. The midfield definitely pissed me off a little bit because I was a little bit confused with the fact that Pedri's playing a 10. Like, come on, bro. De La Fuente, you just saw a whole season where Pedri was fully fit, a fully fit season from Pedri where he played almost every single game where he's been playing the double pivot, and you want to play him as a 10? Like, bro, you're benching Dani Olmo to put Pedri as a 10? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Mikel Merino has been playing a striker all season, basically, for Arsenal, an attacker. Why would he play deeper than Pedri? The first 20 minutes, he was playing deeper than Pedri, and then after the first 20 minutes, after they got the first goal, I'm sure that's when De La Fuente started to notice, all right, let's change it up a bit, but I just didn't understand why that didn't happen from the start. Like, why is he still playing Pedri as a 10? Just stop. Stop. Get some help. Stop it. Play Pedri in his best position, and you're going to get the best Pedri. Obviously, the ideal midfield for De La Fuente is always going to be either Rodri, Fabian, and Pedri, or as of now, since Rodri's just coming back, Zubimendi, Fabian, and Pedri. That's going to be his best midfield with the players that he has available. But because again, it's the same thing with him, man management, managing the quality of players and getting the right players on the pitch, not feeding into the egos of having to play all the best players on the pitch. Play the most balanced team that you can play. But Pedri as a 10 just pisses me off because like Pedri was like little involved in that first 20 minutes, and I was honestly getting frustrated. But thankfully, he started making the change later on. But besides that, up top, great up top. Like I had no problem up top. Oyarzabal, I think, had a great match for sure. He got 2 assists. Where that first goal, great hold of play. LAMINE YAMAL makes a great pass into him, and he just has great hold of play and just sets up Nico for a great goal. But and then the second assist was also great assist. But yeah, not a problem with him. Honestly, when it comes to the striker position, they don't have much quality because they have Morata or Samu or Oyarzabal. Besides that, I don't really care about the striker position. And right wing, we already know LAMINE YAMAL and Nico Williams. Honestly, Nico Williams' performance today really impressed me. I actually thought he had a great game. Getting the goals, getting a lot of shots on target, being a main threat during the first 20 minutes where France were more on top. But yeah, he's definitely convinced me that Barca, if we got the bread, go for him. Go for him. We need a left winger. We all know we need a left winger, especially one that can last us for many more years. Nico Williams has the great link up with all the Barcelona players. He's friends with them. They're from the Spanish national team, so that's already green chemistry right there. So I don't know. I think we should let the egos aside and get him because this guy has a lot of quality, and under Hansi Flick, he's only going to improve. A lot of talk about this game was this going to be the Ballon d'Or decider, which I already expressed is not going to be the Ballon d'Or decider. I already said that I think Dembele should win it because I already said the whole season that the winner of the Champions League is going to decide this. I don't think any international competition should influence because it's not the same level of influence as a Euros or a World Cup. How last year the main influence for Rodri winning it was because of the Euros, but the Nations League doesn't hold the same weight. But this was definitely a game for the players that were definitely going to this game thinking, hey, if I have a chance to impress and change people's opinions on the Ballon d'Or standings, let me do it. Because LAMINE YAMAL has expressed before the game, like, hey, if this Thursday, which was today, is going to make a difference on the Ballon d'Or, hey, let's compete for it. Let's go for it. And LAMINE YAMAL definitely went for it. And Dembele, who's supposed to be the main guy, yeah, not impressive. He had some great opportunities for sure. He could have scored, but Unai Simon steps up. Dembele hits the post. But besides that, it wasn't as involved as you'd like him to be. Obviously, considering what the position that he plays for France and PSG are different. Like for PSG, he's way more involved. He plays the false nine. He's everywhere on the pitch. While for France, he has to basically stick on the wing. But, that's his natural position. So you'd expect him still to step up. But it's understandable that he's not going to have the same influence as he does for PSG. But besides that, I think it was just a game where France definitely had their opportunities. Spain go up in the second half. In the first half, going up 2-0 with just taking their opportunities, 2 great goals. And honestly, like in that second half was just a complete turnaround where Spain were just dominating France. France had no response to anything that Spain were offering them, that were going at them. They just went back and forth, and then it turned into Spain just completely dominating them. And then they got the third, they got the fourth, and then they got the fifth. The third goal was honestly surprising to me that Lamine Yamal stepped up for that goal, for that penalty, because we already seen Lamine Yamal take a penalty the round before that against Netherlands, where he took an awful penalty. So I was honestly surprised that he took that penalty, but probably because he won the penalty, they're like, all right, here, take it. But also going into consideration, there's a lot of talk in the locker room, like, yo, take it, because you can definitely impress. He steps up and takes it with full confidence, which was a great goal for sure. And then again, just go at it again. Pedri gets an amazing goal, that amazing touch that Pedri gets, and then he just gets set up by Nico Williams and just bangs it in. I forgot to talk Mikel Merino's great goal as well. That was an amazing goal as well. Just a great over the top for Merino, and Merino just slots it in like easy goals. And then France get a penalty, and Mbappe wins a penalty, clear penalty from Porto. He brings him down, and Mbappe steps up and he takes it, boom, brings them back into the game. But then immediately after, Lamine Yamal scores the fifth, and at that point we thought it was game over. But then we forgot that CHERKI was on the pitch. CHERKI, wow, what a baller! Holy shite! He just came into this game and just changed everything for France. I don't understand why he didn't come in earlier. Like, you were getting cooked, why he didn't come in earlier? But wow, what a performance he put up. Like, he was so involved in every aspect of the game after the fifth goal, where he just, started attacking, started being more creative, started creating the chance for France, started to get them on the front foot. Like, we thought it was over, but like, France didn't give up, especially not CHERKI. Like, he came on and was like, okay, I'm going to impress. We're 5-0 down, but I'm going to impress. He scores that. Oh my God, bro, just thinking about that goal. We already seen a lot of clips on Twitter, on practices that he's had, where he's already shown that he has an incredible touch and an incredible finish. But to do it in a game where you're under pressure, where everything's going against you right now, and you just do it like in that fashion, in that manner, with that swagger, it was just, wow, what an incredible goal from CHERKI. He just bangs it in, and then starts bringing a little bit of hope for France, a little bit of hope. But I think at that point, Spain was still chilling. They make a lot of subs. Vivian comes on, and that's when things started to change for sure. CHERKI sets up Gusto perfectly for that pass. Was honestly amazing for Gusto. Sets him up with the through pass. Gusto puts it across into the middle, and Vivian touches it, and it goes in for an own goal. But even if Vivian didn't touch it and Mbappe was right behind him, he was going to get a touch into it. So it was going to be 5-3 either way. So, unlucky for Vivian, but it was going to go in either way. Like, CHERKI just set up and orchestrated that play amazingly. And then Kolo Muani, they had a counterattack where Barcola gets through, and then he sets up Kolo Muani and he skies it. If that goal went in, boom, it would have been different. They would have made the comeback. It would have been game on for sure. They would have gone to extra time, maybe penalties. But Kolo Muani just skies it. I'm like, wow, bro, that was your chance. You're a striker. So much space. Sets it up, a perfectly weighted pass. Like, you had to score that. But then minutes later, CHERKI, another amazing cross into the box, like perfectly weighted, perfectly just glides in the air and just sets up Kolo Muani for a free header. Then boom, 5-4. And I was shitting my pants because I put a bet that Spain were going to get through to the next round. So I'm like, there's no way I'm this much of a curse. But thankfully, at the end, they weren't able to do it. But it was just a matter of the competitiveness and the fact that France didn't give up. And again, it was definitely a game where France had multiple opportunities to get back into this game, where they could have gone up before Spain gone up. Like, it was just a matter of they didn't take their chances, and Unai Simon had multiple, like, just world-class saves and amazing saves. Like, he was very solid today and definitely showed his level. Like, even though he got scored on 4 times, it was just like, okay, like, unlucky, but he did keep them in the game for a long time throughout the game. A lot of criticism has been going around for Deschamps, saying that he's not the right manager anymore, like he has to move on, bring in Zidane, which I somewhat agree on, but I think Deschamps still has the level. I think Deschamps still has the ability to get this team to the highest level, because he's already done in the past. Like, he's made 2 World Cup finals in the last 2 World Cups, which is highly impressive. Obviously, in the Euros, he hasn't impressed as much, but he still has a level, and with this new group of players, he just has to know how to manage them and get them to play the right positions, play the right players, and not let egos get in front of him and get in his head, because a lot of these players are so talented and so great players that they might get into his head and be like, why am I not playing? Why is he playing? Like, these are the things that can happen because all of them are competitive and want to play, right? So he's going to have to show his great man management skills, and I think he can still do it, because, again, this game was never a fact that Spain were dominant from minute 1 to minute 90. I say a good 40 minutes of the game, 50 minutes of the game, Spain were dominating them, but it was still a game where France had multiple opportunities where they just didn't take them, and the other team hit them when they did have their opportunities. So France have the quality. They have the ability to, finish off teams. I think if they go up against a Portugal, they would beat Portugal. Against Germany, they would beat Germany. But it's just Spain right now are just better. Spain just plays with so much style. Just like they just flow together so perfectly. But again, it's the same fact with De La Fuente. He just needs to get this team to play the right system with the right players. Where like how he showed in the Euros, like the right players at the right places. But the one thing I just want to criticize the most is, Pedri. Like, just don't play Pedri as a 10. I beg. Please, I just beg. Just play Dani Olmo there. Play Pedri. It's difficult for sure because you have Fabian as well, who's been great as an 8, but I think Pedri's better. Like, I just would prefer Pedri to play there. Now, giving player props for Spain, I'll give it to LAMINE YAMAL, of course, every day. Huijsen, the new signing for Real Madrid, the new center back signing. This kid he's insane. He's a beast. He puts in great tackles. He's aggressive. He's on your ass, and this guy's a giant. Like, he scored an offside goal, which is a quality goal for a center back. But yeah, this guy definitely has a future, and if he keeps at that level, he's going to be very, very scary. And Nico Williams for sure. I think all those 3 players had a great match. For France, I'd give it to Doué, Theo Hernandez, who definitely had a great first half, definitely struggled a little bit in the second half, and 100% CHERKI. CHERKI was just the main guy today for France. Without him, they would have never made that comeback. But yeah, overall, it just comes down to a great quality game that we just witnessed between these two. And Spain are through to the Nations League final. They're going to go up against Portugal, which honestly think that Spain are going to maul them up. I think they're going to cook them, but it's also going to come down to how Portugal set up. Play Vitinha, play John Neves right next to him, play Semedo, play the right players, and they can definitely compete right from the beginning. Don't make these substitutions, don't make rotations when you need to compete and win for a potential title, even though it's not a big title that everyone should care about, right? But it's still a competitive level. You want to show that you are the best team, right? So I'm definitely going to be tuning in for that match for sure. I'm sorry I couldn't go live today. I had some problems with my computer. It just didn't work. It didn't let me go live, but I'll hopefully get that resolved soon. But yeah, I'm excited for this final. This was a great matchup, and this is what football is, people. The love of football. This is what you get when you just appreciate the game, appreciate the players. No hate, just watch as a neutral, and you'll enjoy the game even more. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the game. What do you thought? Who the standouts were for you for this game? What do you think about this final coming up between Spain and Portugal? Who do you think is going to win? And do you think that this game had any influence at all for Lamine Yamal winning the Ballon d'Or? Who knows? But yeah, Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world. I would say that with utter confidence for sure. But yeah, let me know all those things down in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for every time we upload. Share to your friends that love football, and I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that is. Take care, much love, and peace.